Welcome back to Planet Doug, and this could be technically day 2 in Banda Aceh or day 3 if you count my arrival. I flew in at night. Wednesday night is when my plane landed in the dark. Technically that could be day 1. Day 2 yesterday, I spent the entire day here at my hotel. I was shooting a behind the scenes video and editing a Planet Doug video, and I was so tired from the flight I just needed to sort of stay home and relax. And today, day 3 is kind of the first day I'm waking up and going, I'm here in Banda Aceh. And right now I'm out on one of the many balconies of this hotel. At this point, I've given up on the name of the hotel. I can't even tell you what it's called. It has too many names and they're way too long. But it's a fascinating place. But from here, you can see over the city of Banda Aceh. This is my local neighborhood. I'm like 3 kilometers away from the downtown core, kind of more of a residential neighborhood with some really big houses, as you can see. And I think this hotel was built in a mansion. I think this used to be a mansion belonging to a wealthy family. You can see some rooms up here, and then more rooms down here, stairs going up, and then there's a rooftop up there, more balconies and rooftops up there. Maybe I'll go for a walk up there now that it's daylight. I kind of went for a walk around this hotel last night, or no, 2 nights ago when I arrived, technically on day 1. So I showed this area already, this very large communal area, and the big the big mirror. That is very cool. And that's my room over there, room 203. And yeah, it's a bit of a maze. It's a fascinating building. And it's actually late in the day already. As you can see, it's getting dark, which is why I wanted to go outside really quickly. I've been doing some other things today, and just now I'm sort of all settled, and I've got a few minutes before sunset that I can go outside and take a look around. But been pretty cloudy. I guess we're in the rainy season in Sumatra in general. I don't know exactly what that's going to mean for the weather. Does the sun actually come out, or does it stay kind of overcast and gray all the time? But yeah, here we are. Look at that. Some mountains on the edges of the city in that direction. The whole city is very, very flat right up until you get to the bottom of the mountains. No tall buildings at all in that direction, like nothing above 3 stories. And in this direction, it's kind of the same thing. We're looking out through a screen here, but you can see very low city, low buildings all around. Very attractive place. A lot of greenery. And it feels like a very traditional, historic city when you look across the city horizon, and the highest buildings, like towering over everything else, is a mosque. That kind of makes you feel like you're in a historic city. If you're in Europe or something and you see a cathedral towering above all the towns, all the buildings around, it just sort of gives you a sense that you're in a historic place. Yeah, look at these buildings here are amazing. These houses are huge. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about this screen. I noticed it the other night. I mean, you might think, well, of course, it's a mosquito net, but it can't be, because here in the corners, there is no netting. So it's not really to keep out insects. So I'm thinking must be for birds. Yeah, it's quite a complicated set of screens going all the way around. Keep birds out, maybe. Can't think of anything else. Anyway, let's head down to the street and go for a walk. Show you my new neighborhood. Yeah, this is the front of the hotel right here. I'm out on the street. You can see this amazing hotel right behind me. Classic old building. And I guess this is the original name, Hotel O Sachita Residence. But online on Google Maps, it has a completely different name now. It's like the Hotel O Banda Aceh, something. But yeah, this is my neighborhood. Look at that house right there. Isn't that amazing? I guess this is where I am. Kampong Pungi Blancat. Maybe that's the name of my neighborhood. I'm not sure. I came out in this direction in the dark my first night here because I needed to buy water. My idea was to walk alongside this small river, and I missed my turning at the very beginning. But on my way back, I figured out that if I wanted to go to the river, this is the little laneway that I needed to follow. So yeah, over here, this road right here is very busy, lots of restaurants and everything. So I'm gonna check that out as well while the sun is still up. But down here is the river. I just want to walk alongside the river. Look at that house. I never saw that house clearly in the dark that night. That is amazing. They're just huge, these houses. That could be turned into another hotel easily enough. Yeah, beautifully kept as well with all the greenery. Lots of gardens inside the courtyards here with these nice houses. Yeah, beautiful district. Of course, in the modern digital age, arrival in a new country involves a lot of technology. So I've been doing things. So one thing I'm trying to figure out, of course, is whether my phone has been blocked by customs. And I figured that out today. I went out and I found a little shop. I didn't take video of this errand, but I went to a little shop and I bought 50,000 rupiah in credit. And that goes on to my SIM card. I have a Telkomsel SIM card. So in my Telkomsel app, I now have 50,000 rupiah. And I used some of those rupiah to buy a data package, just a small one, just a one-day package, 3 gigabytes of data, just so I can test the phone. So now I had credit, I had data, and then I took a deep breath, a deep breath, and I turned on mobile internet, and it wouldn't connect. So customs has put a block on my phone. And again, a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about when I babble on about this, but trust me, it's not the SIM card. The SIM card it's got nothing to do with it. It's not data. Data has nothing to do with it. It's the IMEI number of the phone itself. And the IMEI has been registered with customs, and they control it. They can turn it off and on like a faucet. And when they decide, I've been in Indonesia long enough on this phone, they just switch it off. And even if you have a SIM card, you have data, you have everything you need, you still can't connect to the internet. You can't connect to the mobile internet. You can connect to Wi-Fi in your hotel, so you can still use your phone in places that have a public Wi-Fi, but you cannot connect to mobile internet. So yeah, my phone is blocked. So I can either buy a local phone, like buy the cheapest one I can find, $60 or something like that, or go on another trip to Telkomsel, which is what I'm going to do tomorrow. Throw myself at their mercy and say, please, can you extend my IMEI registration one more time? And we'll see what they can do. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And here's my neighborhood river in the daylight. Feels like it should be flowing in the other direction, but no, when you think about the geography, the water flows this way into the ocean. And from when it reaches that shoreline, that's where you get the islands like Sabang, Pulawe is out in that direction. So that's where we're facing right now. And yeah, when I came walking down here last night in the dark, I ran across groups of young men. They all come out here and sit beside the river, have a cigarette and chat. So I got a lot of hello coming out of the darkness as I walked along. And there's a little school up here on the right, I think. At least I saw some children there earlier on the right. Yeah, I love towns. I love neighborhoods that have access to various rivers. There's a whole bunch of rivers flowing through Banda Aceh. This is a small one, of course. There's a much larger one downtown, which I'll check out sooner or later. And look at that. It looks like somebody was thinking about Planet Doug. They know my love of benches. So at least they tried. They did put a bench here, but it's been here a long time. It's sort of broken now. But yeah, you could still sit there. Just have to arrange your butt properly to make it comfortable. The other technology I'm figuring out is how to use the local buses, because I'm kind of away from downtown, and I'm going to have to travel around the city quite a bit. So I was trying to figure out, how am I going to do that? Normally I would do it by bicycle. Oh,
Hi, Mr.
hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Bro.
I'm from Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. I'm fine, thank you. Apa kabar? Right. I just saw this field in here, like in the middle of this residential area. That looks cool. A soccer field. But yeah, I was just saying, one option, I didn't realize it, but Banda Aceh actually has a city bus system. It's a relatively new thing, and of course it's deeply embedded in modern technology in terms of it has an app, and you can, I was reading online that the buses are free, and if that's true, yeah, you don't have to pay for them, but you still need a cash card to get on and off, because they need to keep track of how many passengers. So even though there's no payment, according to what I read on the internet, you still have to get what they call some kind of an e-money card, and you tap on and tap off, just like you would with a touch and go card in Malaysia. So I'm learning about e-money cards. Yeah, what a great field. Look at all the kids here, teenagers and younger kids. Whoop.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Douglas. Nice to meet you. There's some interesting buildings. Looks abandoned, right, on all sides. Looks like it used to be residential. Maybe these are all little, or maybe a government building. Who knows, but they don't appear to be in use anymore. Thought at first they might be little one-bedroom apartments or studio apartments, but some sort of a government complex or an old school that's been abandoned. Yeah, I'm all about the modern technology these days, e-wallets and cash cards and all these apps, the way you do things now. It's fun to figure out. And it turns out, as I said, that to ride the buses here, you need some kind of an e-money card, they call them, Kartu e-money. And I guess all the local banks issue their own cash cards, or like debit cards. You buy the card, but it's not connected to anything. It's not connected to your ID. It's not connected to an e-wallet. It's just a card. You put money on it, top it up, and then you can tap at stores, on the buses and things like that. And they call these e-money cards. And in order to ride around on the bus, apparently, I need one of these. So anyway, I'm going to go get one from like Indomaret. I tried to figure out which is the best one to get. Every bank has a different one. And right now, it seems to be that for a foreigner like me, with my needs, quite simple ones, the Mandiri Bank e-money card is the one I'm going to try to get. And I want to get it right now because I want to take the bus tomorrow. I want to learn how to use the local bus system. So I want to take the bus tomorrow morning to go to Telkomsel. So that's my new project. I'm not going to the local waterfall. I'm not sampling the local amazing seafood delicacies. I'm figuring out how to ride on the bus. Got a bit of a plaque over here, a monument of some kind. But of course, the Tugu, so it's Tugu, I think, means monument. Oh, so this is a tsunami monument. Tugu number 64. Yeah, the big tsunami, that's such a huge part of the history of Sumatra and Banda Aceh in particular. December 26th, Boxing Day, like the day after Christmas, 2004, is when the tsunami hit. And I guess, I don't know if I can do a Google Translate on this or not. I'm going to try. So I have it. Google Translate is working, even though I don't have mobile internet yet. So yeah, this is marking how far the tsunami came inland. So the height of the tsunami at this point, this far inland, was 3.8 meters. That's crazy. Can you imagine? 3.8 meters of water hitting this neighborhood. Everything here would be underwater. All of these buildings. Maybe that's what destroyed them. Maybe that's why all these buildings are abandoned now, maybe from 2004. But yeah, 4 meters, 12, 13 feet. Yeah, a lot of these buildings would be completely underwater at that height. And we're sitting how far away from the 2.3 kilometers from the beach. And the wave hit here at 8:30 in the morning, 30 minutes after the earthquake. That is crazy. And what does this say down here? This monument was built to commemorate them who died as a result of the tsunami, and as a warning to the community, especially the generation of students, to always be on standby to deal with earthquakes, tsunami disasters that may occur again in the future. Yeah, it's a good message. But yeah, Tugu number 64. That's crazy. 2.3 kilometers from shore, and the tsunami was still nearly 4 meters deep when it hit here. Wow. That is something else. That's one of the reasons I have an interest in Banda Aceh, of course, which like if you know my recent history, I just have an interest in tsunamis and the storm surge that can come with a typhoon, because, well, it goes all the way back to I was living and working in Taiwan. I had an office job as an English editor at a publishing company, and I remember it so clearly during the day because I was on the internet a lot for my work, writing articles, fact-checking. So I see on the internet all these stories popped up about the tsunami that hit Japan. So I feel like I was living through the Japan tsunami in real time. And then when I left from Taiwan and I was traveling through the Philippines, I was in the city of Tacloban when Typhoon Yolanda hit. And the storm surge hit that city and basically practically flattened the city. So that was like one of the biggest experiences of my life, was to live through a typhoon causing a storm surge. And storm surge is essentially another name for tsunami. Essentially, the town was hit by a tsunami. And my hotel was hit by a wave that high. So maybe even higher. I can't remember the exact height, but I was up on the second floor of a hotel, and the water came all the way up to my feet, basically, when the storm surge hit. So yeah, it was like 3 or 4 meters high, but we were much, much closer to the shore than here. This is 2.3 kilometers from the shore. So I just can't imagine the scale of the tsunami that here. I watched as many videos as I could of the tsunami in Japan, and there was a lot from Japan. Not as many from Banda Aceh, but there are quite a few online. There are documentaries online. I watched all the documentaries, and I'm willing to bet that a road like this would have had the tsunami like flowing up this road, right? Yeah. There's the river that I was walking along, and now that I think about it, the tsunami definitely would have come racing up this river at the same time. Can you imagine what a sight that would have been? Say if you were standing here on this bridge, driving your car or your scooter across back in 2004, and the earthquake had hit, come and gone, you felt it, and now you're standing here and you see that wall of water coming up. And the tricky thing about tsunamis, I'm no expert, but based on all the video that I saw and my experience in the Philippines, they're very funny things, because according to Hollywood, you think of a tsunami as being a giant wave, like a solid wave of water coming towards you, like a wall. That's what I mean, like a wall of water. But it isn't like that at all. It's really just a flood, and it creeps up on you. You see the water level getting higher and higher and higher, and then before you know it, it's 10 feet above your head and washing you away. You know, it's like a surge of water, not really like a solid wall, if you know what I mean. It doesn't look like the Hollywood version, but it's much more deadly in real life. So I'm continuing my quest to master technology. It's funny how it all connects together, because tomorrow I have to go to Telkomsel to get my phone unblocked, and I need to get my phone unblocked so that I can use e-wallets, things like that, and the internet in general. But in order to take the bus, I need a cash card. So first I have to get a cash card, then I use the cash card to unblock my phone, and then after I unblock my phone, then I can get a local e-wallet and then put money on the e-wallet. You know, it's like a crazy puzzle. And I've already been learning about the bus system here. Just today I was looking at one of these bus stops, and it's very, very interesting because they have 6 different bus lines, and so this is a bus stop right here behind me, and they have 6 bus lines color coded, and they call them corridors. So each bus line is like corridor 3A, corridor 3B, and at the moment I believe they're free, as I said, but you still have to have a money card in order to get on and off. So I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get a money card. And to do that, I think you can pick them up at convenience stores. So I'm here at Indomaret, and I'm going to see if they have a Mandiri money card. Apa kabar? Ada kartu Emoney Mandiri? Yeah? It's a Mandiri. Emoney. Okay. So that's a Mandiri e-money card. Oh. 50.000. Yeah.
Bang, yang botolan ini worth it juga ya? Kamu bisa belanja pakai saja? Mau Adrian jo order payment card. Order. 8.500 ya. Ini kartunya sudah bisa digunakan, Pak ya.
Oke.
Thank you.
Terima kasih. And there you have it. I have my very first kartu Emoney in Indonesia. I'd never even heard of these before. I'd never used them before. But apparently I need one to ride on the bus. And there was some difficulty in setting this one up. I didn't understand the problem, but it was something to do with the amount. But then she said something about how we change the amount and it will be okay. And I said, sure, that's fine. So it looks like I paid 27,500 rupiah for the card. So I paid that much for the card, and then I put 8,500 rupiah on the card. There was an administrative fee of 1,500, so I believe on the card I have a balance of 8,500 rupiah, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, that's how these things go. You just sort of have to dive in, figure it out, and then you walk out. And I got this kind of a children's version. I don't think they had a choice, but it has that on the front, and then on the back there's a QR code. And the secret to these is that they are exactly the same as money. So like this 10,000 rupiah note, if I drop that and somebody else picks it up, they can spend it because it's not connected to me as a person. This card is exactly the same. So it has 10,000, approximately 10,000 rupiah on the card. And if I lose it, somebody can pick it up. It's just like picking up money. It's exactly the same as picking up money. So there's no e-wallet attached to it. There's no passport. There's no card number of any kind. It's basically a cash card. And I don't really know how to use it yet. We'll figure that out over time. Oh, there goes one of the buses, by the way. Bus 42. I'm going to be on that bus tomorrow morning. I'm very excited about that. And now I'm going to go to another Indomaret and see if I can top it up. Like now that I have the card, can I add more money? So that's going to be my next adventure. But I was just passing by the bus stop, and this is where I was this morning. Very exciting that here are all the different bus lines. This is where I am. I'm over here somewhere. So this bus, I'll take this bus tomorrow morning, and it takes me to the Tsunami Museum, the Aceh Market, the mosque, like all the famous tourist attractions. This bus will go right there. And then I can take the blue bus, the orange bus goes out here, the yellow bus. So it looks like it's very well organized. The only issue seems to be that to get on the bus, you need a cash card of some kind. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now. And they also have an app. So they've got a I haven't downloaded the app yet. I'm going to do that tonight. Try to figure out how the app works. And they have the schedule for the buses here. The one we just saw was this one, bus 42. I guess it starts in the morning at 7:05, kind of thing. But yeah, look at this bus stop. It's huge. It's really nice. It's got a roof, keep out the rain. It's got all the information about the bus routes right here. A map of the entire route, and then a map of just this bus exactly, so you know exactly what bus comes here. Yeah, very well designed, I think. It's an interesting topic, this comparing the different cashless society technologies from Indonesia to Malaysia, because I was thinking that the Malaysian Touch and Go was superior to this because the Touch and Go e-wallet app and the Touch and Go card are part of the same system. So you can use the e-wallet with the card. They come as a pair. So if you needed to add money to your physical card, you can do it directly from your app on your phone. But in this case here in Indonesia, I can download an e-wallet app like GoPay, but it doesn't come with a card. I have to buy a card like this Mandiri e-money card separately from any kind of, in order to ride the buses. Touch and Go gives you both the e-wallet app and a card for getting in and out of the MRT system and the buses. Every time you think you've timed it right for getting across traffic, the person you're waiting for is going super slow, like slower than anybody else. So you got this big gap in the traffic, but then that slow moving vehicle uses up the entire gap and you don't make it across. So now we're waiting for another gap to get across here. Yeah, right around here on this road, Banda Aceh doesn't feel like a village like I was talking about when I arrived. Now it's feeling like a big city. But yeah. But I was just going to finish that thought that the system here in Indonesia, though, this Mandiri cash card, I can use it on the buses, but I can also use it in the store. So it's a tap and pay card. The Touch and Go card, you can only use it on the buses and for parking and highway tolls. You can't use the card in shops and restaurants. So you see what I mean? It's like some have advantages over the other. It's quite interesting how it all comes together. It's all emerging technology, so they're still working out all the different systems. Apa kabar?
Ya, baik.
Oh, kartu e-money top-up?
Oh, mesin lagi tak bisa.
No? Bisa. No?
Ya, tak bisa.
Okay.
Lagi tak koneksi.
So I don't know if this is significant or not in terms of using these e-cards, these kartu e-money cards, because they said their terminal is down. It won't work. I went in there to ask them if I can top up the card, add money to it, and then he indicated the machine, it's not communicating with his cash register, it's not working. So maybe the technology isn't mature, or maybe this is a temporary glitch. I don't know, but it's not looking that good for the kartu e-money so far. We'll see how it goes. I was out here earlier in the day and I went to a restaurant just across the road here for my traditional mie ayam bakso. It's really good. I'll toss up a couple of pictures here. It was a pretty amazing place as far as bakso is concerned. They had these giant photographs on each wall, like massive examples of all the different types of bakso dishes that they make. And the one that they made for me, mie ayam bakso, was really good. I had that and a bottle of iced tea and 2 of these potato snacks, and it all came to 26,000 rupiah. And when I left from that restaurant, I was walking down the street and I came across this gateway. So there's a gateway up above, has a very unusual bell-shaped object on the top right there. And then when you look at the building itself, it also has this bell on the top. And I mean, it makes sense that this is a mosque, right? I'm not sure what else it could be, but it's certainly an unusual one in terms of its architecture and the symbology, the symbolism of the marks up there on that bell. But yeah, as I walked by, I was curious about what it was, so since I'm passing by again, I thought I'd come in and take a look. Right across the road is that shopping mall that I mentioned when I first arrived. See that yellow dome through the trees? Yeah, there's a shopping mall over there. I've really noticed the difference between Malaysia and being here as a foreigner. when you're in Malaysia for a long time, you just take it for granted after a while how easy it is to communicate with most people in English. And you just accept that as a factor of life, that everywhere you go, you'll be able to communicate with people. But then you land in a place like Banda Aceh, and it's like a real slap in the face, like a real reality check. Like the tiniest detail, you're stymied. Like unless you're using Google Translate, then yeah, the tiniest things are so difficult to communicate, and you start struggling so much more. And yeah, I kind of, you forget about that sometimes. You're in Malaysia, everything's easy, everything is going smoothly, and then you land here and it's just like, there's all these things you want to do, and you just can't communicate unless, of course, you stop and get out your phone and do the whole Google Translate thing. But again, that's not so easy to do right now because I don't have mobile internet. So yeah, little things, like even trying to get this cash card, and she's trying to explain to me that what's wrong, like why I can't do what I'm trying to do, and I have no idea what she's saying. If you spoke the language, if you had a common language, you could figure it out in seconds, but without a common language, yeah, you're really stuck. Yeah, but there's the mall. I think it's the Suzuya Mall of Banda Aceh. I haven't been inside, so I don't know what's going on in there. I made it back to the small laneway that follows alongside the river. It's kind of nice. For quite a few minutes there, I was on this busy road, and I had to cross and go back and forth a couple of times, and it got a little bit mad, a little bit crazy, getting through all that traffic. It's nice to be here where it's quiet. And they have one of those bird nest soup places. I'm pretty sure that's a recording. Those aren't the sounds of birds. They play that loud recording to attract the bird to come in there and make a nest. Yeah, you can hear the bird call. So with the remaining minutes of daylight, I just want to walk along the river here through this is back in my neighborhood, right beside where my hotel is located. So just wanted to walk around, see what's going on here. Just gonna walk up the river as far as I can, and then maybe go around in a circle back to my hotel. Hello. Just an example of what I was thinking about with the language problem. I went into the Indomaret to get the Kartu Emoney from Mandiri, and it's pretty successful that I even knew how to ask for that. And she had the card, so big success. She reached under the counter, took one out and said, here we have one. Would you like to buy it? Everything's great so far. And it's not a big deal, but the card was like a children's card. The graphic and design was very childlike, and I was wondering whether they had a nicer card, more adult styling or artistic or contemporary. Like, do you have a selection of cards that I can choose from? That's what I wanted to say to her, but even the smallest concept like that, without the language, you can't do that. And it's like, so I just took the one she handed me, because without language, you can't say, oh, can I see all the others? Do you have a different design? I suppose I could have gotten out Google Translate, but I mean, there was a woman waiting behind me in line, so I don't want to take a whole lot of time. I just want to get my transaction done. All right. Anyway, still walking along the river. Got a little bit of a reflection in the water now. It's cooling down a little bit, and I just happened to be passing by a cemetery here. A bit overgrown, not cared for, but just thought I'd just pop inside to take a look. Yeah, cemeteries for me anyway are very soothing, quiet places. I like them. There's some plots over here. Look at that. A lot of them have a tree obviously planted deliberately, one on each end. One side has flowers, the other has some kind of a fruit. I wonder if that's a symbolic of something. But yeah, a lot of these have a kind of a tree or a bush planted at the head, and then maybe one at the bottom as well. Yeah, interesting. I have no idea where this road goes. This little pathway, let's find out. Can you hear that sound? I've never heard a sound like that before in my life. Bird, insect, amphibian. I really don't know. I'll be quiet for just a minute and you can listen. Oh, I have no idea what's making that sound. Yeah, some simple houses back here. I think I reached a dead end. There's a grouping of houses here. As far as I can tell, the trails just stop here. There's no way to get past here. So just turning around and heading back to the river. Walking around like this, I often have very similar encounters. And like I didn't record on the GoPro, but back there were groups of people sitting around, some older men and women. And of course, they're all very friendly and everybody wants to say hello to me and talk to me. But if I was recording all of it on GoPro, it would be just an endless series of me saying in Indonesian, "I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak Indonesian. I don't understand you." They could be speaking in Achenese. I think that's how you say the name of the language. Maybe they're not even speaking in Bahasa Indonesia. I'm not sure. But yeah, I stopped there and they said hello, and then they say something and I don't understand. And I say, "I'm sorry, I don't speak Indonesian. I don't understand." And then we smile at each other awkwardly. And unless I sit down and get out Google Translate and really dig into the conversation using a smartphone, there's really not much else to say. So I smile and say goodbye, and then I run into the next group of people and they say something in Indonesian and I say, "I'm sorry, I don't understand. I don't speak Indonesian." If they ask something simple, what is your name, where are you from, where are you going, I can answer those questions. I understand them, but beyond that, yeah, I don't know. Back on the river. I'm not sure how much farther I can follow alongside the river, if the road continues beside it or not. Yeah, interesting neighborhood. I remember having the same experience in many places, many different countries, where you're sort of feeling cut off because you can't communicate and everything seems so difficult. And then you have one lucky encounter where you meet a local person who speaks their language and yours, and they're interested in you and want to hang out with you and they have time, and suddenly with their assistance, boom, everything becomes so easy. Things that were momentous struggles up until that point are suddenly just easy, effortless, and pleasurable. And it's such a wonderful thing when that happens. But I find you can't force it. It either happens or it doesn't. That you meet someone who can help you out with all the local stuff and introduce you to some of the life in their world. There's a beautiful spot. Look at this tree. Just hearing like a roaring sound. I saw that fire underneath the drum over there. I wonder if that drum is what's making that sound. Like the boiling liquid in there. I don't know what it could be though. Huh. Again, if I had my local guide, I would just ask, like, what is happening over there? But, Apa kabar? Eh. Apa itu? Is,
Air.
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 Air. Water.
Water.
Ah. Oh, thank you. Apa yang kamu buat?
Ini tahu.
Tahu.
Yes.
Let's see.
Tahu
Tahu.
ini food.
Food?
Yes.
Saya masuk dalam untuk video.
Yes.
Can I look?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen to.
Okay. So I came over to this place to see what it is they're doing. This is the place that was making the loud noise. And they have a big fire over here. And I asked what it was, and they said water, like air. So this is a big boiler, essentially. And then I guess the water, the steam, maybe they're boiling it, and steam is coming out of that pipe, I assume, going into the main building. And they're making what he calls tahu, a kind of food, but I don't know what tahu is. Oh, okay. It's soy. Yeah, soy. I've seen this before. Okay, so this is where the steam comes in, air. So the steam comes in here and then goes down in there, and then it basically cooks. So they're making, soy products. Very labor intensive, clearly. Soya.
Susu kedelai.
Soya. They're running it through that cloth like a filter. There you see the soy milk. So that sound is coming out of here. It's the steam. Wow. This sounds like there's a lot of power coming out of there. Okay, so it comes from out of there into there. So obviously I don't know the sequence here exactly what the process is, where it starts and where it ends, but you can see them making all the guts. Oh, that's interesting. They have these cement blocks as weights, compressing something. Oh yeah, so that's the soy. Maybe that's the final product there, the soy bricks. And they're compressing it with these stone blocks. There you can see that the water is moving around, the steam coming in. You get a little bit nervous actually being that close to that pipe. I think it's under a lot of pressure, high pressure steam. And then and here's some of the final product. Tofu, basically, squares of tofu. Soaking in water there, keeping it fresh. And there's a whole lot more over here, all prepared. I think this must be where it all begins. I'm assuming these are sacks of soybeans, obviously, right? So it starts there with soybeans, And then, yeah, it goes through this process until they finally. So he's got the tray there, breaking them up and putting them into the tubs, keep them fresh, I guess. Interesting. And then there's some sort of a grinder over here. Luckily, it's not operating, because I imagine this would make a tremendous amount of noise if this motor was running. What an amazing place. Canada. Yeah, saya orang Canada. So here it's coming out of this tub, very like curd almost, spreading it out in those square trays, and then they will be compressed. And then when they're ready to go, they end up over here. This is me, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube for video. So terima kasih. Thank you. Talking about that high pressure steam. It got so high, it had to release before it turns into a bomb, I guess. And to let the pressure out. Here's the place from the outside as I'm leaving. Sun is going down, beautiful sky behind it. I should have known. I think I knew this word from before, but language just doesn't stick with me. Tahu solo. So that's the Tofu soybean processing center. So I just looked it up on Google Translate, and when you type in tofu in English, it gives tahu as the Indonesian equivalent. So tahu basically just means tofu. Tofu production center. Tahu solo. Yeah, it was very kind of them to let me go in and shoot a little bit of video. Very interesting. Not that long ago, quite a well-known YouTuber went into one of these places in, like near Surabaya, I think, and it turned into kind of a big expose because when he was there, he discovered that for heat, for building a fire, they were using imported waste plastic, like recycled plastic. They were buying it very cheaply, cheaper than firewood, and they were using that to cook with. And there was, of course, concern that the smoke and the particles, anything from the plastic, was getting into the food and making it unfit for human consumption. So, but I remember watching those videos and thinking that the YouTuber probably went into that place exactly the same way I went into this one. Very casually, like, hello, I'm a tourist, I'm visiting Indonesia. Is it okay if I come inside and take some video? That's probably what that YouTuber said. And then he goes in, but he's really there as an investigative journalist trying to uncover this scandal about, poison plastic getting into the food. So it's a little bit like going in there under false pretenses. But that is one thing about Indonesia. In all my time here, people are remarkably open when they see me with a camera, allowing me to come into their homes, into their businesses, into their factories, into the fish markets, and just take video of everything they're doing. So I try to be respectful when it comes to that, knowing what my boundaries are, what the limits are, not wanting to take advantage. But yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to go into a place like that and get a close-up look at what they're doing. And it's fascinating. Call to prayer all around us. As I noted when I first arrived at the airport here, because of the 1 hour time difference from Malaysia, it feels like it gets dark here much sooner. So like early, it feels like early in the afternoon. It's like, oh, it's suddenly dark because of the 1 hour time difference. But just walked all around my neighborhood. I'm back at the hotel again, Hotel Sachita Residence. And as I'm walking around now, I'm doing a little experiment. I'm trying to figure out which shops use or will accept an e-wallet and which won't. I can't use my touch and go e-wallet yet with the Indonesian QRIS system because I don't have internet I don't have mobile internet yet. But I'm looking around where I had my lunch today at the Bakso place. I asked them, like, ada QRIS? And they said, yeah. And they had a QR code on the counter. So if my phone was up and running, I probably could have paid with touch and go to pay for my bakso. And I just bought some bottled water at a little shop around the corner there, just a typical neighborhood shop. And then I asked her, like, do you accept, not touch and go, but here it's kind of different when you think about it compared to Malaysia. Like Malaysia has DuitNow, is the national payment platform, and then all the e-wallets connect to DuitNow to transfer money between everything, right? Here in Indonesia, their version of DuitNow is called QRIS, QRIS. But in Malaysia, people normally refer to their e-wallet first. Like if I go into Touch and Go, if I go into 7-Eleven, I don't say, oh, do you accept DuitNow? I say, oh, can I Touch and Go, please? Or someone else might say, Grab Pay, or they name their e-wallet. Here in Indonesia, everybody thinks about the platform, QRIS. So I learned that when you go into a restaurant and a store and you want to find out whether you can pay with an e-wallet, you don't ask, do you accept this e-wallet? You ask QRIS. Like, do you accept QRIS here? That word has gotten into the vocabulary for the whole country to cover all of these e-wallet QR code systems. So yeah, you just ask about QRIS. So that's what I've been doing, you know. Bisa QRIS, like, is QRIS possible? Bisa QRIS. And they say, if they say yes, they'll show you the code, or they scan your code, just like Touch and Go in Malaysia. So I'm just figuring out that whole system, but I can't make much progress figuring out that system until I get mobile internet, of course. But that's my project for tomorrow. So back at my hotel, sun going down. This is the end of my little video, walking around my neighborhood, getting to know Banda Aceh a little bit better. All right, so that's it, shutting down. If you stuck with this video all the way to the end, congratulations. That makes you a member of the Crunch Club. Shout out to the Crunch Club for getting this far. And as I always say, if you want to see some real-time updates, some photo posts, things that I'm thinking about, check out the Planet Doug Patreon. And of course, you can support the channel by joining the Patreon as well if you choose, or check out Buy Me a Coffee and the Planet Doug Substack. Planet Doug is all over the place these days. All right, shutting down. I'll see you in the next video.